Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this AM 1410 WRMN Wednesday afternoon show. Today is the 5th of January, the first Wednesday of the brand new year, 2011. And I'm so happy that Laura Dion-Jones is still with us this year for 2011. Laura, how you doing this afternoon?
Laura Dion-Jones is very happy that she's with you for 2011, too. I'm delighted to be here. I'm ecstatic. Happy New Year to everybody. We're already 5 days into the new year. That means there's only 360 more to go until next New Year's Eve.
What do you have to say that for? How many shopping days till Christmas? Are you gonna
No, but I'll have that for you next week unless you can Google it up for us right now.
I don't feel like it.
Hey,
Okay.
can someone please explain the Bears to me and what happened Sunday? I couldn't believe my eyes. Come on, they're Super Bowl bound. What was that?
Can I sum it up in a sentence?
Yes.
The Bears lost to a better team on Sunday. Hey, they both played tough. We lost to a team and they beat us fair and square.
It's good defense.
I'm a good Bears fan. I go for the Bears all the way. We lost fair and square to a good team.
I don't know.
Okay, that's my synopsis. Jeff, George, you guys want to jump in and
Come on, you're the
defense.
sports king.
tell us how it really happened?
It did mean a little bit more to Green Bay, and they were at home, but the Bears' defense had performed so well after they were so poor for several weeks.
I know.
And Cutler just had one of his early season games. So.
I know.
Got under the game plan. They got out of their game plan, started passing too much, and that was their bugaboo before the bye week. That's why they lost to Washington. That's why they lost to Seattle.
You think
But it
we're
was-
going to the bowl? Super Bowl?
No.
You know?
I don't
I'm
see why
praying that
not.
we are.
I don't see why not.
I'll tell you why. Because they'll probably end up facing, and if they do, they're going to be in trouble. If they face the New Orleans Saints in that first, New Orleans, I should say, Saints in that first playoff game, they're in trouble.
They call them the Aints.
Yeah.
They used to call them the
yeah, the
Aints
old
before.
days.
Yes.
Archie
Okay.
Manning.
Yes. The
Nah.
Ditka days. They used to call them the Aints.
Yeah.
I think there's only one team out there I don't want to face, and that's New England Patriots in
They
the
would be
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the only team out there I think that we would have struggled beating. We could beat any other team out there defensively alone.
You
George,
think?
be optimistic about
Bears are
it.
12-1. Odds are 12-1 for the Bears to win the Super Bowl. New England's a prohibitive favorite.
Yeah, but you know what? Even the losers get a ring, so who cares?
That's right. I got
You know?
$5 on the Seahawks.
Whoa,
Good for you.
big
That's
spender.
a good bet.
Hey kids, in the studio with us today are one of my very favorite guy pals ever, Mike Hunziker. We just heard from him. How you doing, Mikey?
I'm doing fantastic. You look fantastic today. Is that a new you call that a blouse? Is that a
Sweater. It's
a
a little.
sweater?
Is it a little too much, or is it just?
Semi-sweater, it's called.
It's fantastic. It's black and it's got what do you call those rhinestones?
These are
those,
Swarovski crystal rhinestones, and I don't. How many? You know what? We should have guessed how many rhinestones are on
How many
Laura's
rhinestones
sweater.
are on Laura's sweater?
And I haven't counted them up, but I should count them up. You don't think it's a little too much for
I
me?
know. It looks
183.
Yeah.
Pardon?
183.
183.
times
I'll
two.
have
You
to.
count 'em.
Well, what do you
I'd
think?
like to do the jelly beans.
That's what I mean. Yeah, by next week I'll count them up. You guys think about it, and today's its inaugural wearing.
Okay.
Well, it's good to wear
Yeah,
because
that's
you couldn't
great.
get lost. If the sun's out, you'd be seen for miles.
know,
No matter
huh?
what
How about
happens.
it?
Good idea if you ever lose your way.
Yeah, you know what I did to set myself apart on my fly fishing vest when we were fishing in Alaska the first time?
Wore
I put
that.
Swarovski crystals on the shoulders,
Wow.
and you could see me everywhere.
Oh, that's great.
You could see me from the spaceship.
Government thought she was an invasion from another country.
That's
Now they've
it.
got the Swarovski crystal lure. It
Yeah.
attracts the lake salmon out there.
Yeah, don't get no ideas.
Don't know.
Do you know what the only man-made object is that you can see from outer space? You said something from outer space.
I'm thinking the Luxor.
The Luxor in
I'm
Las
thinking the Great
Vegas.
Wall of China.
Very good.
Hey.
Oh,
Very well
yeah,
said.
you are absolutely right. Listen, how was your New Year's quickly?
Very calm, very tame, so nothing major for me to talk about. So
Same
very
here.
Nice.
Same here. How much walking are you doing?
10,000 steps a day.
Oh, God, you're the best.
That's what it is.
That's why I knew I would get you.
It's so much fun.
Ultimately, I knew I would get you. I always figure out a way to give everybody exactly what they need. Do I not?
I'll put on 6, maybe 6,500 before I get home. And if it's not 10,000, I don't go home.
It's tough, isn't it,
I'll
once
park
you
my
get
car
into it?
and I will walk until it gets to 9,000, and then I know I'll get an extra 1,000 before the night's over. So, and sure enough, 10,000.
Walk
every
into
day.
the fridge and back, extra 1,000 steps.
Up and down the stairs. I walk downstairs and take the stairs to the laundry room. I'll go outside in the parking lot. My wife still smokes, bless her. She'll go outside for a smoke. I'll go out with her and walk around the parking lot 3 times, and then she finishes her cigarette. So that's 3 laps around the parking lot.
And you're almost a year from quitting smoking.
It is.
February 2nd.
Cool. We gotta celebrate.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day.
Listen, who could ask for a better co-host than the one and only Jeff Myers?
There you have it.
Yeah.
Jeffers, how was your New Year's?
Quiet, thank you. I walked 10,000 steps.
That's
Well, that was a
good to
movie
hear.
I saw late night.
Oh, okay. And George
Movie
Robinson, George Robinson is here with us today too, and he's going to share some special dialogue with us that he had with a guy in the second half, and it's about someone who's local, who's desperate for diet and fitness advice, and he wants to lose it once and for all, and I'm going to give him my special Laura Dion-Jones motivational maven.
He's someone who listens to your show on a regular basis, according to what he told me at the center.
I am very flattered. And then we're going to be calling in one of my personal medical pros, Dr. James Bales. Remember him? A professor of endocrinology from Marshall University Medical School in Huntington, West Virginia. And he wrote the book No More Fat Kids, A Pediatrician's Guide for Safe and Effective Weight Loss. And I'll tell you something. Well, we'll talk about that later. And I want to introduce Valerie the Swan. She's our YouTube camera girl. There she is, shaking her head. How was your holiday, quickly?
Wonderful.
Good, wonderful. And our special in-studio guest today is Kalia Jefferson. She's a USO and Senior Services entertainer who's coming in to dish about some important, interesting things that she's into. And we will hear from her in a moment. And today's show is brought to you again by
the good folks we call Claire Elias. You know about Claire and the great office she has at 2001 Larkin Avenue. You can give her a call at 847-888-9988. And again, posture, YouTube camera over that way. Look at
Laura's
the posture
posture.
there. Look at that, shiny and bright, because she goes to Dr. Claire Elias. So make sure you give her a call. And chiropractic is her specialty, and she's got the great office, and there's a legend here in Elgin. Speaking of legends, you know the why. January means what? You sign up for a lot of things in the month of January. You get ready for that new year.
You better believe
Yeah,
it. Fitness drive, membership drive at the Y, yes?
Need we say more basketball registration for the youngins? You name it. You can do it right at the Y. You can always phone the folks at the Taylor Family Branch YMCA at 847-888-7410. They're located at 50 North McLean. Again, membership they have going on right now. Join up. And the Y basketball registration. Is that fun? As a young boy, George.
Doesn't get any better.
Oh, yeah. We can see you with basketball about 6 years old and having all kinds of fun. So give them a call right there. 888-7410. Extension 20 for the basketball registration. That's the Taylor Y.
And we'd also like to thank snobhounds.com, a canine clothing company. You know the drill. Think Nike meets Donna Karen, but for canines. Keep your pooches warm, dry, cool, and comfy with Snobhounds environmental protection wear and Casey Tool, an automotive specialty tool company, available through your Snap-on mobile tool distributor. And a special thank you to Casey for making this show and all of our shows possible. And we have a lot to cover today, so let's get right to the point. It's time for our quote of the week.
All right.
Ready? Here we go. I have never seen a man who could do real work except under the stimulus of encouragement and enthusiasm and the approval of the people for whom he is working.
Wow. FDR.
I know this one.
You know this one?
Douglas MacArthur.
What?
Yeah, Douglas MacArthur's good.
Charles Schwab.
Charles Schwab, American
The famous
industrialist.
quote.
Cool,
Nice,
huh?
nice.
Wow.
Come, get encouraged and stimulated to lose all your unhealthy weight. Don't you like my segues?
Yeah, it was very
EBL4 will provide, Elgin's Biggest Loser 4
Sequins
will,
and segues. You're the queen.
thank
Yeah,
you.
that's right.
Rhinestones.
Yeah, very nice.
And segues. EBL4, which is Elgin's Biggest Loser 4, will provide the tools, the enthusiasm, and approval for you to lose it all in a safe space with others in the same situation you're in. You can finally achieve your own weight loss, health, and fitness success by joining us for Elgin's Biggest Loser 4, beginning, guess what, this evening from 5 to 6 p.m. and running for the next 12 consecutive weeks until Wednesday, March 30th at the Taylor YMCA, located at 50 McLean Boulevard, and everyone is welcome. And there's still time to register and sign up, so go to elginsbiggestloser.com for more details and a registration application. Fill it out, bring it with you tonight. And did you guys see the story on TV today or yesterday about the homeless man with the golden
Oh,
voice?
yes. It's Woodrow right
Almost
here.
got
on
a golden what?
voice.
Golden voice.
It's
chance yet.
Ted Williams is his
OMG,
name.
wait till you
Really?
hear
Williams,
this
yeah.
guy. Who?
Oh, Ted Williams is his name. He's going to be on the Today Show tomorrow.
Oh,
As some of George's
chills
guests
are
on.
up my spine. He says, you know, he never thought he could do it because of the way he looks, this and that. And some pro gave him advice, and he said radio is the ear
Yeah.
of the mind, and the guy's voice is absolutely
He's good.
astonishing.
We should phone him. He was 14 when he went to visit a radio guy, and the radio guy, that's the ear of the mind, just like you said. And he realized he could work on that and do any voice he wanted, but he does
Who
sound
does he
good.
have a voice?
Ted Williams, yeah, it's like 99.9. Give me $1.
I'll tell you the power of television, power of radio. You know the friend of mine, Laura Christina Corris, a young woman who's on the cover of People magazine this week. She appeared on the cover of People magazine Thursday. She did the Today Show Monday with Matt Lauer. Weight loss, she lost a lot of weight. I'll tell you one thing that bothered me before I tell you about the power of radio and television. Christina was on the front page of the Daily Herald yesterday about her being on the cover of People magazine. And I read the story online, and then I read it in the hard copy. But online, you could comment after the story. You'd be surprised at how mean-spirited some people can be. They hide behind these pseudonyms, these electronic pseudonyms, and some of the really mean things that they said to this young 22-year-old woman.
What, they wrote her emails, sent her emails,
no,
or
you
what?
can comment after the story. It's for public
Oh,
consumption.
okay, okay.
The comments after the story.
No
some
way.
of them are really mean.
No.
You know, oh, who does she think she is? It took her 7 years to lose 122 pounds. Big deal. That's
Come
a half an
on.
order of French fries a day. No, really mean-spirited stuff. Instead of celebrating what
Jealousy.
this young woman
Yeah,
accomplished.
jealousy,
Believe
no.
me, I've been trying to lose 20 pounds for 7 years. It ain't that easy.
White carbs, white starch, and sugar.
Absolutely, I'm back. I'm back on the bandwagon. But anyway, she appeared. She had a small website, which is really just a flat website set up for her last week in lieu of her appearance, in anticipation of her appearance on the Today Show. She appeared on the Today Show Monday. By Tuesday, she had 30,000 hits on that website.
God
And lost her
bless.
voice, didn't she?
30, yeah,
spoke
she
so
did
much.
lose her voice.
Wow,
30,000 hits.
that's great.
And she's available for your show whenever you want.
Well, we'll think about it.
All right.
So let's waste no more time, shall we, and give a warm Laura Dion-Jones show welcome to Kalia Jefferson.
Thank you so much for inviting me here today, and
Thank you
Happy
for
New Year's
coming.
to all of Elgin and everyone listening.
Listen, Kalia, refresh our memory and tell us a little bit about yourself again. Remember what you do with the senior entertainment and like that?
Yes, I'm very involved in 2 senior programs that I do. I entertain for. In fact, this coming weekend on February 8th, I will be at the Elgin Moose Lodge on McLean, and we are doing a luau.
January 8th.
January 8th. Wrong day.
Right
You'll be
here,
there all
drunk
month.
you.
I like that.
You're right, it's okay.
That's okay, that's
Yes,
okay.
on January 8th, we'll be putting on a full Polynesian show for the Elgin Moose for seniors. And it includes dancing, audience participation, music, ukulele playing. We have a keyboard player. It should be a lot of fun, a lot of participation.
And
We've seen her show before, so we can.
Jeff, look at that.
I've seen Hope and Crosby on the road to Hawaii.
You better get him over there.
Arthur Godfrey. He played the ukulele.
Listen, you know what? How did you get into entertaining like this?
Well, many years ago when I was just taking classes, I decided that I wanted to bring something to people. This is, especially the culture of Hawaii, is not something that a lot of people know about. So we started doing little backyard luau's just for fun, for friends, and I became so interested in the culture and bringing just the aloha spirit, especially during this time of year when it's cold. We can warm your hearts with some Hawaiian musics and dance, and it's just bringing something that you can't get here.
You know something? You have to give me your address because I want to share a book with you. It's called The Aloha. Remember the girl who was on? The wrote the
Yeah.
Aloha Spirit or something? And it's a great book and a couple of cookbooks. And then if you promise to return them, I'll share them with you because it's stories
Absolutely.
from all the prominent people around Hawaii.
Absolutely. They have such a spirit of aloha, a welcome, a warmth, and that's what I fell in love with.
Who's your audience? Who's your real audience? Everybody?
Everybody, actually. Some days I start out early in the morning and I do schools. I do little children in preschools, and then I can move on to junior highs or high schools, and then at night I entertain for seniors or adult parties. So we have a program geared for any age.
Do you teach the kids or do you entertain them? Both.
I do both. We talk about the culture. We have them get up and do a little bit of participation. They learn about the instruments and the language. And they're very
That's wonderful
fascinated.
for them.
Yeah, they are. Very fascinated.
And what is it about your profession that really excites you?
Being able to bring some joy and happiness to people. I guess that's it. It's my passion. I love to see the seniors smile, have a good time. We shake hands. And as far as the children, they're just absorbing all this information. I have something different to offer. And I think that's the payback. It really is.
That's wonderful. I also know that you do quite a bit of work with muscular dystrophy.
Yes.
And you have a daughter-in-law, Sarah, with muscular dystrophy.
Yes, I do.
So tell us a bit about your motivational program, Willing to Raise Awareness, and how it helps people with disabilities.
That has been such an inspiration. Years ago, well, about 3 years ago, I met this girl. She walks into my house. She's going to marry my son, and she's got muscular dystrophy. I knew nothing about it other than Jerry Lewis does a telethon. And knowing her and her positive attitude, her philosophy is having muscular dystrophy made her who she is. And her struggle as a young child, being in school, being different, hearing this story, we sat down one day and I said, I think you have a message to bring people, for young people to respect people that are different and with disabilities. And we go around to junior highs and high schools. We do classes in child development or health classes. She gives her story and we talk about just how to treat people that are different. And you'd be amazed at the response of these children. They love to tell their story. Maybe they've got a family member at home that's got diabetes, something, autism, something like that. And they'll share their story, how different their life is because that person's in their life.
It's difficult sometimes being different and being accepted.
Absolutely.
I know from my own experience being heavy my whole life and how hard I had to work to be accepted and make myself look prettier and better and make more with my clothing just to to overcompensate. I felt that the better I looked, it would give people one less thing to disparage me about, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You could say, ugh, look at that big fat pig over there. I might have been big and I might have been fat, but honey, I was no pig. You know something, what are your daughter-in-law's challenges, physical challenges? I don't want to call them handicaps because I know a lot of people with muscular dystrophy, but what are her challenges specifically?
Well, since we started the program, she was walking fine. Now she walks with a cane or a walker. The muscles they keep contracting, they get weaker, and she sleeps a lot. That's one of the the disabilities for muscular dystrophy too, is that she has a sleeping sickness. So we have a time frame where she can get out there and be with the classes, and by the end of the day she's tired. We go home, she'll sleep for 12-15 hours. So I think that's it. We know that there's a window of time that she can do this, and we're hoping that's what we're getting out there
now. That's where you fit it in, yeah.
Yep.
I have some experience volunteering at the muscular dystrophy camp.
Excellent.
With my good friend. You don't happen to know a woman named Dr. Maria Brown, do you? She's a DO.
The name sounds familiar.
She's a DO at Children's Memorial, and all her good friends have dystrophy, but most of them are severe in the wheelchairs, and that's why I was asking you what your daughter-in-law's specific challenges were, because a couple summers in a row I volunteered at camp and I went and did haircuts for them.
Excellent.
I was a hairdresser at the time, and it was terrific, and it was wonderful being at the camp with all those kids. No matter what their handicap was, they were beside themselves with happiness.
And that's it. We actually, when we go into the classes, we promote the camp programs. We tell the young students, come out and be a volunteer. Do something different this summer. I'm connected to Mainstay Therapeutic Riding, so we offer that up. Whatever your passion is, get out there and help these kids. They could use a buddy system.
Able bodies?
They
need able bodies at camp.
They do.
So if you can come and be a volunteer and be an able body and be with a kid for the entire day, at the muscular dystrophy camp, there's nothing like it.
There isn't. And these children, a lot of the young children, they have no social life. They're home. They aren't in mainstream school. So to have someone come in and actually be a friend, and Sarah still writes people. She still pen pals people from when she was in camp that helped her. So it builds kind of interesting relationships.
I bet you do know Maria. I have to get a hold of her and connect you two because of your work with muscular dystrophy.
I would love that.
And you know something, I also understand you're a breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
And how did you find out you had breast cancer?
Well, breast cancer runs in my family. There's about 7 or 8 on my maternal side that have breast cancer. And I'm checked often for it. And it wasn't until I had a mammogram.
At how old?
I was 51.
You had first mammogram?
Well, it wasn't my first one, but that's when it was.
When you found out?
When I first found out.
Were you getting them yearly? Were you getting the mams yearly?
I was. Every year since I was about 40. So the mammogram is what saved my life. And it looked very small, and it looked very innocent at the time, and it was a huge, huge issue for me. Even though it was small in size, it took 5 surgeries to take care of it.
No kidding.
By the time all was said and done. So I'm a big advocate of that. I do a lot with breast cancer. I do a lot of the walks and the relays. I help at the survivor table. And, it just made me a little stronger, made me a little more determined to do things in life different. And I don't feel sorry for myself or really look back on that as anything negative. It's been a positive because it's changed things.
Makes you appreciate every day.
Yes, it does.
And something it's sometimes a cliche, live for today. How does one take it one day at a time. Let's still plan for the future. That's my big question for this year. How do you do that? How do you take one day at a time? How do you enjoy one day at a time, but still keep your eyeball on the road for the future? That you have X, Y, and Z coming up, or that you're going to do this, that you're going to do that. You don't want to get ahead of yourself, but how do you take one day at a time and still lay the groundwork for your future? Mike, you got any? You're looking at me. I can tell the wheels are churning. I haven't figured it out yet.
I
do it.
think that's the greatest question of life. How do you plan for tomorrow and live for the day at the same time? I suggest you just live for today and hope tomorrow comes. I guess I don't know what to say about that. As a thinker, I need a little more time to think about something.
We got to think on that because I think on that a lot because of some personal issues that I'm going through, and I think, how do we live for today? How do we be in the present moment? But how do we still plan for tomorrow? Where am I going to be living, 6 months from now or a year from now, and am I going to be doing this or that or working or, you know what I mean?
Back when I was a teenager and immortal, none of the stuff that happened with tomorrow would really affect me. I'd make the decision to just do them anyway. Now that I'm 40, I really have to prepare for myself for tomorrow, and I have a wife and a child.
That's what I'm getting at. College.
Things change.
Buying a house.
Yeah, I take tomorrow when it gets here and live today like you wanted to yesterday. I don't know. You planned for today yesterday, did you not?
Yes.
How's it going for you?
Just like I planned.
And tomorrow will be here before you know it.
Tomorrow's always a surprise, though.
See, there's a lot of those X factors. I don't know what's coming tomorrow.
If anybody has the answer to this, call us. How do you live for today and keep an eyeball on the road?
And if you have a good answer, we'll talk to George or write a book about it, because that's a great question.
I'm telling you, that's my question for right now, for the year. I'm going to go back to Kalia and talk a little bit about breast cancer before we move on. I have a friend who, they're recommending that you don't get a baseline mammogram until you're older, like 40 or something now. This girl, I think, found a lump when she was in her late 20s. Got the mam, found out she had cancer, and now she's 10 years cancer-free. But then I also know another person that was young. And so had they not gotten the screening, had they followed the current, guidelines about what age to start, I don't think they'd be here with us today.
Well, I do believe that you have to really be proactive in your own situation. Knowing that I had such a history, I made sure. I mean, sometimes you have to push. You actually have to push and say, I'm not comfortable with this decision. I made a lot of choices during my cancer time, I guess. Not to have chemo. I did a lot of research. I went to many doctors, and I thought it's not right for me. And so you have to.
That takes guts.
It does. It takes guts, and I still to this day feel my choices were right. I have a daughter and who's in her mid-20s, and their doctors don't feel that she needs it yet, and I said, yes, you do. With 7 of us on this side,
without question.
You need it.
You're right.
Fortunately, all of ours have been later in life, so there hasn't been anything in the early 20s or 30s.
But there's always a first time.
There always is. You don't know how strong that can be.
And the new talk is that women over a certain age should only get one every 2 years, and I feel personally that a whole lot can happen to those cancer cells in the 2 years in between. And I don't know about anybody else, but if I have to pay for them myself, I'm getting them yearly. I get a mam yearly.
And again, I think it's knowing what's right for you. If you don't feel comfortable waiting 2 or 3 years, don't do it, especially with a history.
What else can we say? What other programs are you working on with children? I know you're going to do something with the deaf kids and
yes.
hearing challenged. And tell us a little bit about that quickly.
Well, I am part of a ukulele class, and we have found that playing ukulele with deaf children, it's ukulele, that the deaf children actually feel the vibration of the ukulele, so they're somewhat getting a rhythm from that vibration. And because sign language is so close to what hula is, the hands are telling you a story. There's something that we feel that we can connect with that, and even just the music has inspired them. So I'm trying to work on a program where I can go in and actually teach some of the hand motions from hula to these children, along with them, feeling the vibration of the ukulele. And I'm always interested. I'm interested in everything.
I could tell that. Yeah, we got to stay in closer touch. We can do some things together.
You got it.
How can people get in touch with you for more information about your shows and your special programs?
You can contact us. The phone number is 847-487-8611. And also our website is alohadancers@comcast.net.
Good for you. I got one more cancer test question to ask you. What do you think of the new news that they have a cancer on the cancer detection front, that a blood test is going to be able to detect one cancer cell out of billions with a B?
Boy, I hope that's the truth. I went through a lot of genetic testing when I had my cancer because it was very confusing, and I wanted to make sure I was making the right choices. And the tests are there, and they seem to think that that it's going to be pretty accurate.
Yeah, there's 5 hospitals in the country, 4 of them on the East Coast, 1 in Texas, that are performing these studies and doing these tests.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, breast cancer is rampant these days, and it is pretty frightening sometimes if we don't catch it ahead. But I hope they keep working on it. Definitely.
You got something to say?
No, I was just enjoying the stories. Yeah, it was very
We all
good.
have stories.
Yeah. Say how do we say that instrument again?
Uki.
It's a ukulele.
And who's the most famous ukulele players?
Don Ho.
Me.
Ukla, Fran, and Ollie. That might have been what I was
That was
thinking.
before my time. I don't know.
Yeah,
You were
it was.
thinking about something devilish.
Well,
I could tell by your face. I could tell by the look on your
It's the most
face.
quiet I've ever seen Jeff in my life, and he comes out with that.
I know. Couldn't you see on his face he was up to something? No, I
Well,
could.
yeah.
That's why I asked him. That's why I deferred to him.
I'm going to borrow that joke.
Listen, kids, before we go on, it's halftime, and we'd like to thank our very special sponsors.
They would include, of course, Dr. Claire Oleas. She's always right there for you, 2001 Larkin Avenue. Chiropractic is her game. She's well known in town. Just simply call Josie at 847-888-9988. She takes care of the phones, and you can set your time frame with Dr. Claire Oleas on Elgin's west side of 2001 Larkin Avenue. It's time in 2011 to start joining things, isn't it? Yes, it is. How about the Taylor Family Branch YMCA? They have got a membership drive going on. You can visit their website at elginymca.com. Also give them a call at 847-888-7410. And also basketball registration now. Kids love it. Your youngins love to play basketball, don't they, Mike?
Of course.
All right. Well, now's the time to do it. Same phone number at 847-888-7410. Count those 8s. Extension 20 for the Y basketball. And back to our story of the ukulele.
And a big thanks to Snob Hounds and Casey Tool, weekly sponsors of ours, without whom our show would not be possible. And don't forget, Elgin's Biggest Loser 4 begins this evening at the Taylor YMCA on McLean Boulevard, right here in Elgin. Go to elginsbiggestloser.com for an application and more info. And please tell all your friends. And I think it's time for us to say hello to our medical expert who is with us today, Dr. James Bales, and he specializes in childhood obesity and has developed an incredibly successful weight loss program for school-age children where they lose weight without feeling hungry. And if he can do it for the kids, he can do it for you too. His book, No More Fat Kids, A Pediatrician's Guide for Safe and Effective Weight Loss, should really be titled No More Fat People. Dr. Jamie's going to give us some healthy low-carb dieting advice and tips on how to lose and maintain the weight while on a healthy low-carb eating plan for life. How are you? Are you with us, Dr. Jamie?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Thanks for having me back.
Don't you love his accent? Where are you from originally?
West Virginia.
Oh, no kidding. They talk like that down there, eh?
Yep.
Listen, first we're going to talk to George because I want him to fill us in on our subject. He's a local guy who... Tell us about him.
Dr. Jamie, I met a gentleman, and I've seen him around quite a bit. I'm working out at the center earlier this week, and he said, you're the producer of that Laura Dion-Jones show. So we started talking, and he told me, and he asked me, I asked him if he wanted to come on the show. He was a little reticent to do that.
Sure.
But he has about, by my estimation, he's starting a diet, New Year, that whole thing. I would say he's got about 40 to 50 pounds to lose. Now, he asked me a question, and I called Laura and asked her, and then she's referring me to you because it was something I couldn't answer. I'm not a health and fitness guru. But he said that he had lost weight before, about 20 pounds in 2 months, and he did it on a low-carb adjustment program. I don't want to call it a diet, but low-carb.
Sure.
Now, but but he couldn't maintain it. He said, he missed the carbs, his body missed the carbs, but he got such a great jump start off that low-carb adjustment lifestyle that he wanted to do it again. His question was this: could he start with a low-carb program, then transition to a traditional lifestyle adjustment, meaning a sensible eating plan, I think. And to watch this guy, I watched him play racquetball. I've seen him. He's one of those people you see around, and I know he's pretty well known, and he's well known at the center. He's a great athlete. I mean, he's heavy, but I've seen him play basketball. I've seen him play racquetball. This guy's like a cat. He's a really good athlete. I would guess he's probably mid-40s, maybe, somewhere early to mid-40s. But again, his concern is he wants to do this low-carb thing. He needs something to jumpstart it, and low-carb has worked for him before. But again, he couldn't maintain the traditional, or he could not maintain a consistent low-carb diet.
For life.
Right.
You know something? Go ahead.
Well, that's the biggest trick and the hardest part to do with a low-carb diet is maintain it for life. It's the most important thing to do. And what I usually try to get people is think of a really strict low carbohydrate diet as a tool to lose weight, but you have to be able to maintain it to be successful. So most people get around 200 to 250 grams of carbs a day that are not watching their carbs. And that's just way, and that's, if you go by the food pyramid, that's what they recommend. And that's just way too much. And so usually when you're talking about a restrictive carbohydrate approach, you're talking about, 20, 30, maybe 50 grams of carbs a day. And that will cause a 15, 20-pound weight loss in a couple of months. And most people can do that for a couple of months, but it's hard to do that for a lot longer than that. But this is where you have to have a real maintenance plan that can be effective. And again, you can certainly do a modified approach after a couple months. And what I would recommend doing is still pay attention to the carbohydrate intake, but limit it to 75 to 100 grams a day. And I usually like to think of that of 100 grams a day as 300 grams over 3 days. So if you have 1 or 2 days where you have cravings for certain things, go ahead and eat them, but keep track of how many grams you eat, and still limit you to, 100 grams a day. That allows you to have, fruits and vegetables and other things and bread here and there, but it's not back up to the 200 or 250 a day that most people were getting before. And usually at 100 grams a day, you're not going to gain weight.
Dr. Jamie, in the real world, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. In the real world, what's 100 grams a day carb?
Well, and most people get about 60 grams per meal, or so. So you're talking about a meal with a couple starches and a large French fries at McDonald's, 75 grams of carbs.
Gotcha.
2 pieces of bread, maybe 25 grams. So a banana, maybe 30 grams. So, it adds up pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. But it still allows you to eat all the protein you want. And again, the protein is really the key with those. But it's avoiding a lot of the junk foods, of course, the regular pop, the fruit juices, and things like that, what are just kind of empty carbs. And you try to, get extra fiber in your diet along with that. Some people at 75 grams a day will still lose weight. Some people may still lose weight at 125 grams of carbs a day if they're exercising.
I gain.
So you got to find that level where, it's right for each individual person.
You have to find that level, but he's got to find it himself. And what makes me so strict with my carbohydrates, if I go up 70, 80, 120 carbs, I'll start to gain because I am that carbohydrate sensitive.
Right, and that's what everyone's a little bit different with that, and you just got to find out what that level is.
And one thing that a little bit bothers me about this guy is just that when George originally told me the story, that the guy has always had success with a low-carb diet, but as soon as he goes off of it, he gains his weight back, and that's one of the things that I would tell him. You can never go off of it Monday through Friday. The carbohydrate intake that Jamie's talking about, maybe he should save over 100 carbs for the weekend.
And Laura, when he goes off of it, though, he told me he goes off of it. He doesn't try to. He's had a lot of success with this low-carb thing, and it's a great jumpstart for him. I don't know if it's his body calling, but when he goes off of it, he goes back to the other extreme. It's not like Dr. Jamie is saying, transition maybe 100 grams a day, 300 grams over 3 days. He's just right back to it.
Ravenous.
Ravenous for those carbs. And he'll put the weight back on faster than he took it off.
That's what happens at times, and because you go back into eating the same lifestyle, you're going to gain the weight back. So you've got to be able to make changes that you're going to be able to live with. And most people can live with 100 grams a day. You just got to have a plan, to do that. And I think, if he's just so successful at 30 grams a day or 20 grams a day and wants to lose 20 pounds in a couple months, then I think he would, if he had a plan to stick at 100 grams a day or probably even 125, he'd still be able to maintain that weight.
Especially
going back up to 250, he's going to gain it back.
Especially with his activity level, though. He is religious about doing his daily cardio.
I'm at the center 3 or 4 days a week. He's always there. He's always there.
Well, that helps.
He's probably there now.
You can usually eat more carbs if you're exercising more.
One thing
you just can't eat 250 grams a day.
One thing that bothers me about people like that when I see them at my health club, because I watch people, I see them day in and day out, mostly when they're as religious about their daily cardio as I am, and I know they're trying to lose weight, but I could tell they're on the wrong diet because I see them month after month and I don't see a change, and I see them beating their brains out on the machine, the cardio machines. I see them being dragged around the whole place by a trainer, and I wonder why some of the trainers don't just say, look, we got to find a different diet for you, a diet that works better, and it's clearly the white starch and sugar carbs. And there's so much, I can't say so much, but there's quite a bit of prejudice toward low-carb dieting, like it's not healthy. And that's one thing that this guy, I think George gave me the impression that this guy says, well, I have success on a low-carb diet, I can drop the weight, but as soon as I go off, I put it back on. But you got to stick to the diet. It's the key words, the clue here is as soon as I go off. And that's where he's got to find his happy medium. Don't you think so, Jamie?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, you got to be able to have a plan where you can maintain the weight loss. And a lot of people think that a low-carb diet doesn't work because as soon as they go off of it, they gain the weight back. Well, what that really proves is that it does work. And when you go off of it, by definition, that means you're going back to eating all the unhealthy carbs from before. And so that tells me for him, that's a perfect diet for him. He's got to be able to maintain the extra protein in his life on a daily basis. And then you don't have as much of the carbohydrate cravings. And so I think if he would be gradually to reinstitute some of the carbs back into it instead of all of a sudden just going back to eating everything before, then he would do better.
Does that help, George, you think?
Absolutely. I'll relay that information.
And if this guy wants to meet with me for lunch one Wednesday before the show and have a consultation so that we can sit down and maybe I can point him in a direction where he could consult with somebody who may be a nutritionist who does believe in a healthy, low-carb way of weight loss. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he told me he would be listening in today.
Well, that's why I'm hoping that he hears what Dr. Jamie's saying. Listen, you're listening to the Laura Dion-Jones Show on WRMN 1410 AM. And if you've got something to say, we'd love to hear it at 847-931-1410. And we'd like to get back to our conversation with our call-in guest, endocrinology expert Dr. James Bales, professor of endocrinology at Marshall University Medical School in Huntington, West Virginia. So, Dr. Jamie, you know what I wanted to ask you? What kind of diet do you follow?
I used to pay attention to try to watch my fat, and I don't really have a big weight issue, but about the last 12 years I've been paying attention to more of my carbs. I do have a sweet tooth, and I will, not stick with it every day, but I'll try to eat more protein, and I usually just eat protein for breakfast, and that way I can have some desserts and still exercise and maintain my weight pretty close to the ideal weight.
What's your biggest downfall, dessert-wise, but what is it?
Well, I like candy.
Like Hershey's? A really good candy?
I like chocolate, like suckers and different. About any sweets, I like sweets.
Man after my own heart.
Yeah, I'm not a big bread person, so I can do without the bread, and potatoes I can do without some, but...
yeah, the sweets are tough.
Yeah.
They're tough for me, too, especially the holiday time, but I made it through unscathed, thank God. How about your personal exercise routine, Jamie? What's that like?
In the winter, I exercise probably about 3 days a week. In the summer, I play a lot of golf, so I'm outside about every day doing something. I don't always do cardio and things, but I usually try at least 4 or 5 days a week do something active. But really the key, I'm telling you, the key for weight loss is not as much the exercise as it is the diet. And, I think exercise makes you feel better, and for your heart it's better for you, and for your muscles it's better, but for weight loss, the diet's the key.
Can I say something along those lines from my experience? Yeah. My first year, I lost 40 pounds on the low carb, and I wanted to kick it up a notch. And my husband said, you play at working out, and as soon as you get serious with daily cardio, the weight's going to fall off. So that's when January 1st of 2003, I made the commitment with my 2 little dogs to walk 1 hour a day. And ever since then, I've walked over 25,000 miles, which is all the way around the earth at the equator, as you know. But here's the moral of the story for me. As soon as I kicked in that minimum of an hour a day cardio, the weight melted off. I started walking, and I know you're the professor of endocrinology, but boy, I sure have to say that weight goes, diet and daily cardio do go hand in hand, especially if people.
I think you're right, but you're talking about extreme exercise. I think most people that do 25, 30 minutes of exercise a day, you're not going to see a big weight change. But yes, if you're exercising an hour a day of cardio and things, that you will lose weight much faster.
Thank you for clarifying that, because with all my Elgin's Biggest Losers, I put the fear of God into them that they have to do an hour of cardio a day. And here's it doesn't matter. Pardon?
But that's hard for people to do. It's hard for people to have the time to do that.
Yeah, but if they split it up, if they break it up, I mean, my God, my statistics, 117 people, I'm motivated to lose 1,242 pounds.
That's pretty good.
And that ain't all by dieting.
Yeah.
We've made them beat it off with daily cardio. Ask Mikey. Listen, Jamie, you got anything else you want to leave our listeners with?
No, I think you're doing a terrific job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
I'll send you some more books this week.
Promise?
I will.
You know I put them to good use. Dr. Jamie, thank you for being...
Email.
Huh?
Email me your address and I'll send them to you.
I will. Thank you for being such a wonderful guest, as always. And we'll be drawing on your expertise again, and I'm glad that you're available for us.
Thanks for having me.
Happy New Year. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Isn't he nice?
I love his accent.
Mountaineers, West Virginia.
That's right, Jerry West territory.
So you think we addressed your friend's...
I think so. And he's not my friend. He's just an acquaintance. But he told me he'd be listening.
And
if
he
not,
listens
I will
to my
relay
show.
This. Yeah, he does.
So he's a friend of ours.
Yes.
That's great.
He's a friend.
And,
he's a boyfriend.
Yes, and he, if for some reason he missed it, he did tell me he would be listening. But if he did miss it, I will relay your information as well as Dr. Jamie's. So I think it'll be helpful.
Tell him to call me. I would love to have a dialogue with him and really help him figure this out.
I think right now, Laura, I think he's a little, as I told Dr. Jamie, I think he's a little reticent. I think he's a little bit embarrassed about his weight.
Well, you know something? Tell him I'll wear a blindfold. Okay. I won't look. I'll just listen. Okay? You're listening to the Laura Dion-Jones Show on WRMN 1410 AM. And I'd like to tell you a little story. I have a Cajun joke in honor of Julie Belanger. If you remember, she is our former YouTube girl and Elgin's Biggest Loser assistant, who is now working full-time back in the aerospace industry.
Good for her.
Nice.
Isn't that nice? She
so.
started on Monday, and she got a job back in the aerospace industry. You all know how much she missed that. Yeah, she used to be with
That was my
NASA.
minor in school, so I'm always looking for more work there.
You too?
Thank you. No, YouTube.
Oh, Julie's the one who is. She's a real rocket scientist, as you know, and how many of us know a real rocket scientist? So we're happy for Julie, but sad that she will no longer be joining us for our shows and for our Wednesday night Elgin's Biggest Loser meetings. We'll miss her generosity of spirit and her sharp sense of humor and her expert input on all things. And she spent a lot of time in New Orleans working for NASA.
That's great.
NASA, not Nassau. And this joke is for Julie, and it is called Boudreaux and Thibodeau Go Ice Fishing Up North. And they stop at a store on the side of the road and ask the cashier where they can go ice fishing. And the cashier says, there's a frozen lake across the road, and I have bait and ice picks to break the ice so you can fish. An hour later, Boudreaux goes back into the store to buy some more ice picks, and he tells the cashier, I want all the ice picks you got. And the guy says, Are you catching a lot of fish? And Boudreaux replies, catching a lot of fish? We ain't even launched a boat yet. Isn't that cute?
Oh, you in that Henny Youngman stage. You had there.
I know. I gotta work on my Cajun accent.
There. One more note. Because I saw Janelle Walker, who you'll see tonight.
Yes.
She was on her way to duty assignment. You'll know this man, a 30-year police officer, retiring right now. They had ceremonies as we spoke. Jim Gans retiring after 30 years, and 3 new police officers were sworn in this 3 o'clock hour. That's where Janelle Walker is. I saw her right outside here a few moments ago, on her way to your EBL.
And she said, "I'm coming to EBL tonight."
Yeah, I said there'll be cake for you. I said there's cake over there. She said I got to go see Laura in 2 hours. So she knew she wasn't going to have
Good
cake.
for her.
So no retirement cake.
Good for her. Can we squeeze in a little bit of guess what today is?
Oh yeah, it's our
I know
favorite
you guys
segment.
have some
Yeah.
trivia that you're going to try and stump me with.
Do
So
we, George?
lay it on me.
Okay, all right, George.
Lay it on me.
Here is my today's trivia question. I think we did sports last week, so I'm using movies this week, and this is specifically directed at Laura Dion-Jones. And when you hear the answer, you'll know why if you don't get it. What movie, Laura Dion-Jones, received the most Academy Award nominations without winning one?
That's good.
It was not Holy Smoke.
Yeah, holy smoke.
And if you think about it, you'll know there's a reason why I asked you this particular question.
Jesus. Give me a hint.
I asked you this particular question because you personally know one of the stars of this movie.
I do.
That Wiley guy from All My Children? Yeah, well, which is their anniversary
Walt
today.
Wiley?
He's 41 years ago today All My Children began. So
1970.
I thought, very good, very good.
Tell me the question again. Movie won the nominated for the most Academy.
What movie received the most Academy Award nominations? I think it's 11, without winning one.
That's great.
And you know one of the primary stars of this movie.
Oh, well, let's hear it then. You
There
must
you go.
know. Has she had dinner with this person? Has she write a screenplay for this person?
Does this person belong to my health club?
Is this person
Okay.
bigger than a bread
Color
box?
purple.
There you go.
Oh,
Very good.
let's see.
Color purple.
Very good.
Because
Oprah
you
Winfrey.
own this
Never
person.
won
Color
any?
purple.
That's right. The Color Purple didn't win one. Nominated
Didn't
for
win
11.
one.
Wow.
That's great. Great
No
question.
kidding.
Here's the other one I'll ask you. This is just kind of a throwaway. The only actor with at least five film credits whose every picture was nominated for a Best Picture Academy Award. Every film this actor was in was nominated for Best Picture.
James Dean. No.
Really?
No.
No, at least 3.
More hint.
He was in 5 films. Each one of the 5 films was nominated for an Academy Award Best Picture.
Is he still alive?
No. That's
Marlon
why he was
Brando?
only in 5 films.
No,
Marlon
Marlon was in hundreds.
But you know what? He was in 2 of the movies with Marlon Brando.
Rock Hudson.
John Casal, if you remember him, he played Fredo in The Godfather.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't like Fredo.
like the guy.
He was too weaselly for me.
Hello, Laura.
You
Put
know,
that Kleenex
you
back
know
on
who
your
his
cheek.
girlfriend was in real life, John Casal?
No.
Who played Fredo?
Who?
Was Meryl Streep.
No way.
They were living together. He was diagnosed with cancer and
He's
died.
such a weasel.
Godfather, Godfather 2, Deer Hunter,
Wow.
Dog Day Afternoon, and The Conversation. Francis Ford Coppola.
That's with Gene Hackman. The
You
conversation.
guys are too much for me.
That's great
Honest to
stuff.
God.
No,
You know
that's
why I
great.
didn't know that? Because I didn't like Fredo. I liked.
And not more than 2% of the world could name that actor. I gotta say that. Usually you can come up with a name, but
We
sure,
could know him by
sure.
Fredo, but we wouldn't know him.
Yeah, we'd
Meryl
know him
Streep
anyway.
lived with Fredo?
Here, I'll ask you this question. When The Godfather won Best Picture in 1972, James Caan, Robert Duvall, and John Casal were all nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Marlon Brando won, of course, for Best Actor, but it was Duvall, Caan, Casal nominated, but somebody from outside the film won for Best Supporting Actor.
I don't remember.
It was
Before my
from
time.
Cabaret, 1972.
Joel
Oh,
Grey.
Joel Grey.
Joel Grey.
Joel Grey.
And one more thing, because he knows this, I'm sure. Today's birthday, Robert Duvall's 80 today.
Oh, you took
So it all
that. You stole that
No,
from
no,
me.
I saw it.
That was
it
coming.
on your list?
It was coming in a minute.
Oh, man.
You son of a gun. You. January 5th, as we've said, is the 5th day of the year. Do we have anything going on with it? No? Okay. The events in 1759, George Washington marries Martha Dandridge.
Yeah.
Who's this? Oh, she did.
Yeah,
Well, we
yeah.
don't know that.
Yeah.
knows that.
Listen quickly. This one's for Jeff and George, our 2 sports hounds. What happened in 1889?
Oh my goodness.
January 5th, 1889, what movie devised?
Preston North End is declared winner of Original Football League. Do we even know who Preston
Wow.
North End is?
Preston North End.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Chicago Bears before
That's
they went
right.
to Chicago.
Oh, is
That's
it?
why we always
No,
but that's
they
why we
became
always depend
favorites.
on North End when we win the coin toss.
Listen
You're right
to me.
about that.
That's right.
In 1896, they discovered X-rays.
Oh, they discovered.
1914, on today's date, the Ford Motor Company, wait till you hear this, announces an 8-hour workday and a minimum wage of $5 for a day's labor.
Wow. Same today.
Yeah, that would pay for a
Hard times.
latte
Yeah.
$5
No
today.
benefits. It's all the same.
Listen, there's too much more to mention here. 1940, FM radio was demonstrated to the
Wow.
FCC for the first time. Huh?
Frequency modulation.
And here's another one in honor of Julie Boulanger, our former rocket scientist. In 1972, U.S. President Richard Nixon orders the development of the space shuttle program.
Nice.
Oh, that's right.
Nice.
Let's go get
And
'em.
here's another one for Al Gore in 1974. Warmest reliably measured temperature in Antarctica was 59 degrees Fahrenheit, recorded at Vanda Station. So global warming started way back then, don't you think?
I did. Jeff, you alluded to a new TV program that started today in 1970, All My Children.
Yeah.
On this date in 1961, Wilbur.
Oh, Mr. Ed.
No.
Mr. Ed
Oh, of course,
debuted
yes, of
today.
course,
Really?
Of course, of course. I know
Boy,
that.
were we babies then, huh?
Yeah. Oh, Wilbur.
Listen, in 1923, Sam Cornelius Phillips, American music producer, who discovered Elvis and Johnny Cash. He was
Wow.
born in 1923.
And X-rays, ironically, did all
And
those.
Carl Perkins.
These guys are nuts.
Oh, wow. X-rays and Elvis.
Okay.
Sam Phillips also
Go ahead.
discovered
Who?
what singer who's been on your show several times.
Jimmy
Damon.
Yeah,
That's
Mr.
right.
Damon.
And Carl Perkins.
Wow.
So here we are, 1931, Robert Duvall. Jeff stole that one from
I
me.
didn't know.
1932, Chuck Noll, American football coach.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And Diane Keaton, Ted
Oh.
Lang. You know who Ted Lang is?
Yeah, he's on the Love Boat.
American. Yes, he
Yeah.
was. You are
On
just
the
too
boat.
much. Amelia Earhart, declared dead after disappearance in 1937.
It's a good movie.
And do you know a guy named Rabbit, Jeff?
Rabbit Moranville?
Yeah.
Hey, he's a
Son
shortstop
of
with the
a gun.
Braves. The Braves.
Oh, right.
Braves
Cardinals
shortstop.
said that.
You do know your stuff.
I-
Who would
yeah.
know a guy named
There's not
Rabbit?
many
Who would
nicknamed
know that?
rabbits.
And he did. Rabbit Miranda. He
Yeah.
was an American
A
baseball
good
player.
shortstop, yeah.
Awesome.
Wow. And Pete Maravich, American basketball player.
Pistol Pete, number
That's
44.
right. That's
Uh-huh.
right.
And what is he famous for?
A long hair and floppy socks.
And a great show.
All-time leading NCAA
Oh,
division
yeah, with-
scorer. He
yeah,
still is
with
the all-time leader.
LSU.
Really?
LSU, and his father's name was Press.
Pete Maravich?
Yeah,
Press.
Preston
Maravich.
Maravich.
Yeah,
Press?
Press.
Press, P-R-E-S-S.
Like press or pull?
Yeah, and Pete passed away at a relatively young age with a heart attack, and Press did as well. So
And
they're
you know
both-
what? Today's Sonny Bono's birthday.
Oh.
Tug McGraw.
Oh.
And here's one of my favorites. Momofuku Ando. Inventor of instant noodles and cup of noodles.
Oh,
Every
boy.
college kid knows.
You know, it was Bob
Oh.
Smith invented X-rays, but Mo Fukunoka invented noodles.
And you didn't say that.
You missed one. You missed one. I can't upstage that for him. But go ahead.
Look how ready he is. You
Circulation.
too. Listen, you kids. You got one more to say?
January 5th, 1988, 6:06 a.m., my daughter, Carlin Nicole
Oh.
Rollinson.
Oh, you're
Oh,
kidding.
nice.
Happy birthday, Carlin.
Very
We had her
happy
this morning.
birthday.
We had coffee this morning.
Oh,
I
nice.
call her at 6:06, as I do every year, and she said, "Dad, that's kid. You know, it's played out. You know, stop calling me. Quit calling me at
Every year.
6:06 in the morning."
Listen, on that note, we got to thank everyone for being with us today. My gang, Jeff, Mike, Valerie, the Swan, and thanks to our special, and George, and thanks to our special guest, USO and Senior Services entertainer, Kalia Jefferson, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And also thanks to Dr. Jamie Bales, Professor of Endocrinology at Marshall University Medical School in Huntington, West Virginia. Thanks for your expert advice. And thanks to all, to the Racquetball Guy for his diet and fitness questions. We love those, so if you got any, call us or email us. And of course, thank you to all of our loyal listeners. And next week is January 12th already, and I have no idea who's going to be on, but rest assured it'll be good. We can guarantee it. And don't forget, tonight is also the official
EBL.
weigh-in for EBL 4, 5 to 6 p.m., Taylor YMCA. Dr. Clara Leos, thank you. YMCA, thank you.
Can people just show up tonight? if they
Yes,
haven't
just
registered?
show up. Just show up tonight, and you can also show up. Just show up tonight. come and lose it all. And thanks to Snob Hounds, and thanks again, Casey, for making this show possible. And every day is a new beginning. See you next week, same time, same station. This is the Laura Dion-Jones Show. I am Laura Dion-Jones. Thanks for listening. Happy 2011 from all of us on the Laura Dion-Jones Show to all of you. Semper Fi, kids.